Hi, this is Friday, July 9th, 2010. I've done a quick search on Inkscape. I counted about 100 tweets. I wanted to just show you the kinds of things people are tweeting about Inkscape. Over here, CBA tutorials. Need a good free Illustrator alternative that runs on 32 and even 64-bit and every OS on the planet? Then give Inkscape a try. And learn how to ink comics with Inkscape, a free program. There's some weekly comic book tutorials. You'll notice how many different languages people are tweeting about Inkscape, because with free and open source software, there are no boundaries to who uses the software. It tends to be used widely worldwide. Let's continue to see what other tweets there are over here. Inkscape 0.48 is coming out in a week or two. Over here, learning to use open source alternatives to illustrate Inkscape. If this is what you can do, wow. And let's continue over here. Oh, I think I saw John Lemazny. Right. Lemazny has his 199th Inkscape drawing. He's doing 365 drawings this year and putting one up per day. John is also teaching Inkscape at the Princeton Public Library in Princeton, New Jersey this summer. Free classes up there. Let's see what else. Learn Inkscape drawing Bezier curves. So this is a tutorial from Bruce Tyson, and he also gives you a tutorial on business card templates with Inkscape. Let's keep looking and seeing what else is here. Somebody has a question. How do I create an invisible rectangle without disappearing? And somebody answers that pretty quickly. On Twitter, questions get answered pretty quickly. Not all the time, but most of the time. Here's somebody a bit irritated with Inkscape. A bit irritated that on this machine, pasting vector elements in Inkscape creates a pixelated mess, forcing me to use duplicate instead. Okay. And same person doing vector schematics in Inkscape based on the 3D ship model, or rather they're rendered 2.5D sprites to get them fully into the game. Oh, over here, here's down below right here. These are some Inkscape screencasts from Brazil mentioned. I mentioned them in this blog posting. You don't have to understand Portuguese to learn from these screencasts. They are so well done. It's really important that you try and learn beyond a boundary. So if you think that there's a boundary, try skip over it. It's kind of fun to jump over a boundary, especially national boundaries. Over here, although Inkscape's 0.48 path envelope deform effect is hard to use, I find Inkscape really useful. Going to introduce it as a sketching tool at work. That was 17 hours ago. And over here, diving into vector graphics with Inkscape, producing 2 blog posts for tomorrow. And over here, Lemazny says, my pleasure. Inkscape 0.48 has lots of great and powerful surprises. Let's continue on to see what else I can just show you. Yeah, we're up to 24 hours. Oh yes, this is the middle school class about Inkscape taught by, I think it's pronounced Myron, Red Hat engineer up in the Boston area, doing logos and t-shirts with Inkscape. That's so cool. I've been following that. Right, here's a mention of that. Great use of Inkscape to design logos and t-shirts. Here's somebody who's upset about Inkscape crashing. I predict they're using the Windows or Mac version. The Linux version does not crash as much. If you're using the Mac or Linux version, do please save often. Over here, Inkscape is an amazing tool. Wish I had a few months spare to get good with this. An anime studio. And here is another Inkscape screencast down here. All within the past 24 hours. This is a kind of a overview of the tweets about Inkscape on July 9th, 2010.